Om Prapannaparijataya Totravetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Geetamritaduhe Namaha. Pranams everyone. So we are in the 5th chapter, Sloka number 6. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sannyāsastu Mahabaho Dukkhamaptumayogataha Yoga Yukto Munir Brahma Nachirenadi Gacchati. Sannyāsastu Mahabaho Dukkhamaptumayogataha Yoga Yukto Munir Brahma Nachirenadi Gacchati. So Bhagavan is answering Arjuna's question. Arjuna's question was whether Sannyasa is the best, is what is good among these two, between Sannyasa and Karma Yoga. And Bhagavan clearly said in Sloka number 2 that both are conducive to liberation, both lead to liberation. However, among these two, Arjuna, Karma Yoga is better for you than Sannyasa. And then Bhagavan said in Sloka 3 that Karma Yoga and Sannyasam are almost the same, in the sense that for Karma Yogi also he does not, he goes beyond the pairs of opposites, and he does not have any liking, desire or hatred. Yona kankshati na dveshti. And that means he does not have any hatred around or likes around the results of the actions that he performs. In that way, in that sense, he is removed from the bondage of the results. He is completely freed from the bondage of the results. Whilst a sannyasi is freed from karma itself, a karma yogi is freed from the bondage of the results. So in that sense, both of them are not affected by karma. Then in Sloka number 4 and 5, Bhagavan said the final destination and the intermediate destination could be one and the same. For in Sloka 4, Bhagavan said, if for a Vividisha sannyasi and a karma yogi, their goal is chitta shuddhi. Their immediate goal would be chitta shuddhi. So their benefit would be one and the same. And then in Sloka number 5, he said, even if you take Karma Yoga, it will automatically lead up to Jnana, and then you will actually attain moksha. Similarly, for a sannyasi also, the path to moksha is through Jnana, and therefore the final result for both of them are going to be one and the same. So far we had seen this. Now Bhagavan is talking about in the 6th sloka. Bhagavan is saying Sannyasastu mahabhavo dukkhamaptum ayogataha. So Bhagavan basically answers a possible doubt from Arjuna, or a possible doubt that we may have in our mind. The doubt is, remember when we started discussing on the second sloka, we said Shastras clearly claim that Sannyasa is superior āśrama. So according to Shastra, Sannyasa is said to be a superior āśrama. And to attain Sannyasa is not an easy task. This is known to everybody. That Bhagavan conveys in the first line. He says, Sannyasastu mahabhaho dukkham aptum. Dukkham aptum means it is difficult to attain sannyasa. Mahabaho means, O Arjuna, sannyasa, dukkham aptum. It is difficult to attain. It is painful to attain. We all know that sannyasa is not easy. And people who take up sannyasa, we fall at their feet. We take their blessings, because it's not easy to remain as a sannyasi. And this is a fact, and it is called out in the Shastras. So what is sannyasa? Sannyasa means we can say it's not having any duties. Because only Grihastha has got lots of duties. Sannyasi does not have that many duties. So what will sannyasi have actually in their hands? They will have time. And if you really see which is the biggest burden on life, it is not duties or responsibilities, but actually time. Time is the biggest burden. Suppose if you ask somebody, they don't have any, so to speak, they don't have any desire to achieve something, and they have lots of time in hand, or as in they have the desire but they don't have the capacity or capability to do it, or for whatever reason the situation is such that they have time but they cannot do anything with it. Time becomes the biggest burden. Boredom hits them. That's why many retired people, they struggle to come terms with their retired life, because they are not able to plan their life after retirement. They don't know what to do. As long as they were actually busy doing work for in their office, and they were able to take care of the family, they were actually keeping themselves busy, they were happy, or rather they were not actually struggling with time, with time in hand. That's what happens with some ladies at home also. When the children are young, they actually give all their time to the children, and once the children leave, they start doing their own stuff. Now suddenly you have so much of time and you don't know what to do. So the music, art, dance, all those were all created for passing time only. All these recreations were created only to pass time. Why we created all these things? Because we cannot pass time easily. When you have time in hand and you have nothing to do, it's going to be very, very difficult. If you really want to try it out, we can try to stay alone in a room with no books, no television, no phone, no mobile, no games, and you shouldn't sleep also. Just to sit alone in a room, not doing anything for an hour, we will know how difficult it is. And if somebody even comes up after 1 hour, he would have aged by a day at least. Reason being, time is a huge burden. And for a sannyasi is given all the time from morning to night, and sannyasi is ekaki. He should remain in solitude. So he should renounce people, he should renounce things, and therefore sannyasa is dukkam. Dukkam here means difficult. We can also say it's sorrowful, it's painful, we can say. Some people think that being alone means no problems. I don't want to be with anybody. I want to be alone. Leave me alone, they say. Actually, it is not the people related issues. It is not about, the problem is not with people. The problem is our likes and dislikes. The samsara is from our likes and dislikes. We want the people around us to behave in a certain manner. We dislike people around us to behave in a certain manner. So it is the problem with not with the people around, but with our likes and dislikes. But the fact is, the problem for us is that our mind has a deep impression of these likes and dislikes. And when we meet people, what happens? Our likes and dislikes, they get expressed. The mind sees an opportunity and it expresses its likes and dislikes. So sannyasa is okay, being in solitude is okay, and sannyasa is okay and calming for a person only if he doesn't have too strong likes and dislikes. He doesn't have too many likes and dislikes, he doesn't have too strong a like and dislike, then for him sannyasa is okay. Being alone is okay. If not, what will happen is, you have likes and dislikes in your mind, there are no people around for you to express your likes and dislikes, and that actually creates furthermore issues. That's why if you see some people, when they are alone for too long, or even some sannyasis, They could be talking to the book itself, or to the pen, or to the chair. Because most of us, we need someone to transact. For being alone, we need a high amount of sattva guna. If we are alone, if we have sattva guna, we can do sadhanas. We can do sadhanas like japam, we can do sadhanas like parayanam, puja on our own. Nobody needs to be around us. But for us to be able to do that, the likes and dislikes should be less. In other words, the person should have high vairagya. Therefore, Bhagavan says here, Sannyasastu mahabaho dukkham aptum ayogatah. Dukkham aptum. Sannyasam dukkham. So next question comes. If sannyasa is so difficult to attain, then why did Bhagavan praise Karma Yoga? Because remember, in the second sloka, Bhagavan says, Karma Yoga visishyate. So Bhagavan justifies that statement in this sloka here. Because why? Because Arjuna could have thought, why is Bhagavan not giving importance to sannyasa? Because Upanishads and the reality is exactly saying the same, that sannyasa is a superior āśrama. In Mahanarayana Upanishad, every sadhana is being called out, and then finally it says, Nyasa iti Brahma, Brahma hi parah. As in, among all sadhanas, Nyasa, Sannyasa. Nyasa means Sannyasa. Sannyasa is the highest. So Upanishad says, so according to Shastras, according to the reality, we also know how difficult it is to take up sannyasa. We know through the experience, our own experience, to be alone for some time. We will know how difficult it is to be alone. So through all those things, if we see that sannyasa has to be given a high position, then why did Bhagavan praise Karma Yoga? So that is given in the second line. So what Bhagavan tries to convey here is, sannyasa is definitely a superior āśrama. It is a high state, no doubt. But this sannyasa cannot be attained a person who has not done Karma Yoga. Only through Karma Yoga one will be able to attain sannyasa. And therefore, Karma Yoga cannot be avoided. Then we have a question. What about some people who have taken up sannyasa at a very early age? Without even performing Karma Yoga, they have, from brahmachari, they have become sannyasa. Shastra's answer to that is, that person would have done Karma Yoga in their previous births. So in their previous births, they would have already spiritually evolved. And therefore, in this birth, they were able to take up sannyasa early in their life. In fact, we would be seeing a concept called Yoga Brashta in the next chapter, chapter 6. Wherein Bhagavan says, in this present life, if you had done so much of sadhana, and if we leave this body before we could complete all the sadhanas, then what happens is, in the next birth, we get born with the same mental maturity as this life. So you don't need to start afresh from there. So therefore, in this birth or in any birth, one can attain sannyasa, but only through Karma Yoga. Jokingly, Swamiji says, before the world renounces us, we are able to renounce the world. And if we are able to do that, we have attained success. As we grow older, what we can see, the world will start renouncing us. we will start feeling lonely. The children will not need us. And if the spouse also dies, what happens? The world becomes smaller and smaller. Nobody wants to invite you. Nobody wants to talk to you. Nobody wants you to give any advice. You feel unwelcome in many places. So the world will start renouncing us. What is sannyasa? Sannyasa is even before the world renouncing me, I renounce the world. So that is success. So after retirement, what happens? People are told, you are not supposed to eat that. You are not supposed to watch that. You are not supposed to drive. You are not supposed to go out alone. You are not supposed to do these activities. So if we are able to renounce all those things, okay, I don't want to eat those things. I don't want to do these things. I don't want to come for those activities, do those activities. If I am able to do it myself, then it is better. But when can we do that? Only if I have done Karma Yoga. Now, what is Karma Yoga? If suddenly somebody says, what is Karma Yoga? I have forgotten what is Karma Yoga. One word to understand Karma Yoga is Dharmika Jivanam, Dharmic lifestyle. The benefit of Sannyasa, the benefit of Sannyas, Dharmika Jivanam, the benefit of Dharmika Jivanam is Sannyasa. The benefit of Sannyasa is Jnana. Jnana leads to moksha. So karma and sannyasa seems to be like different paths, but they are not. Karma Yoga and Sannyasa are going towards the same direction, towards moksha. So now we'll go into the Sloka. Sannyasastu mahabaho dukkam aptum ayogatah. Mahabaho, O Arjuna, Sannyasa dukkam aptum is difficult to attain. Here, as I said, dukkam does not mean sorrow, it means difficult. Durlabham. For whom it is difficult? It is difficult for, is it difficult for everyone? Bhagavan answers that it is difficult for ayogatah. Dukkam aptum ayogatah. Ayogatah here means for those who had not done Karma Yoga. Ayogaha. Ayogaha means, yogaha means Karma Yoga here. Ayogaha means for not Karma Yoga. Ayogataha means for those who had not done Karma Yoga. So Sannyasa is difficult to attain for those who had not done Karma Yoga. And even if they take up Sannyasa, suppose if a person has not done the Karma Yoga properly, he takes up Sannyasa, what will happen? He will not be able to follow the Sannyasa āśrama dharma properly. Why? What is the reason? Because Sannyasa means nivritti, to be in nivritti marga, which means one should not have too much desires. Desires should have been moderated, controlled. Desires should be disciplined desires. Only then Sannyasa āśrama can be properly followed. And unless we perform Karma Yoga, desires cannot be removed. Desires cannot be disciplined. So thus ayogataha means for a person who has not done Karma Yoga, Sannyasa is difficult, not possible. This is indirectly Bhagavan had said. Now second line Bhagavan gives it directly. He says, Yoga yukto munir brahma nachirenadi gacchati. Yoga yuktaha. Yoga yuktaha means a karma yogi. Yoga here means, as I said, Karma Yoga. Yoga yuktaha means a karma yogi. For that person, and Bhagavan calls this person who has done Karma Yoga as munihi. Yoga yukto munihi. Munihi means devout person. In other words, a contemplative minded person. Munihi means person who loves being in solitude. A person who loves seclusion is called munihi. With such a mindset is called munihi. In Sanskritam, there are two derivations, Mananat Muni Munihi or Maunat Muni Munihi. One who enjoys Mauna is also a Muni. Mananat, one who enjoys contemplation. And when can one contemplate? Only when you are alone. One who enjoys contemplation is also a Munihi. One who enjoys Maunam. How can you be Maunam? Only when there is nobody around you. So Munihi is generally applicable only for sannyasis. So here Bhagavan is referring to grihasthas who perform Karma Yoga as Munihi. Here it refers to Mananat, because a grihastha would have to deal with people. So Yoga Yuktoh Munir Brahma Nachirenadi Gachati. Brahma Nachirenadi Gachati. Adhigachati means attains. Who attains this? Munihi. A Karma Yogi or a Karma Yoga practicing grihastha. He attains. When does he attain? Nachirena. Nachirena means before long. He attains shortly. What does he attain? Brahma. Brahma means Brahman. Here Brahma has two meanings. The popular meaning is Brahman is the Paramatma. Popular one. So a person who lives by Karma Yoga will attain Paramatma quickly, immediately. Adiga Nachirena. Without long, before long. The second meaning for Brahma is, which is what Śaṅkarācārya has taken up, is here he refers Brahma to be Sannyasa. So he says, a person who lives by Karma Yoga will attain Sannyasa quickly. So in the first line, Sannyasa is difficult to attain for people who do not live by Karma Yoga. In the second line, a person who lives by Karma Yoga will attain Sannyasa quickly. That is how Śaṅkarācārya has interpreted. So Sannyasa is difficult to attain without Karma Yoga, but a devout Karma Yogi, he attains Sannyasa before long. And remember here, when we say Sannyasa, it doesn't mean that Sannyasa āśrama. It doesn't refer to taking up an ochre robe. Here Sannyasa here refers to Vidvat Sannyasa, which means he gets that jnana. And that too, when you say sannyasa, it is not renouncing the entire āśrama and taking up sannyasa āśrama. Here it is talking about jnana karma sannyasa, what we saw in the 4th chapter. Dropping the notion of doership in all actions. That is jnana karma sannyasa. I am doing this, I am not able to do this. That feeling is lost. It doesn't matter. I am not doing anything. I am only it is only the body and mind which is doing. So that he will be able to renounce the doership. And by renouncing the doership, what happens? All attachments also get dropped from the mind. So two meanings. One, that he will attain Paramatma. The second, he will let go of all attachments from all objects. Sannyasa. He will renounce all attachments. He will attain that state. Remember, it doesn't mean he will let go of objects. So, as a grihastha, he will continue to deal with possessions. He will continue to deal with relations. But he will not take ownership of those, saying that these are mine. And in some cases, the objects itself will leave him. He will attain such a maturity. He will be established in jnana, and finally he will get jnana nishta. So that is the meaning of this sloka. Arjuna, sannyasa is difficult to attain without karma yoga, but a proper karma yogi Munihi, Yoga Yukta Munihi, he attains Brahman before long or Sannyasam before long. Now, next question that's asked is, why does Bhagavan say Nachirena? Nachirena means what? Before long, shortly. Why does he not say immediately? Why does he not say that a Karma Yogi will attain Brahman immediately? Brahman as in Paramatma. So a Karma Yogi will attain Brahman immediately. Because between Karma Yoga and attaining Brahman, there is a sadhana, Jnana Yoga. And therefore, this Karma Yogi, as a result of this Karma Yoga sadhana, will automatically be led to Jnana Yoga. And by Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, this person will be able to attain Jnana Nishtha or Paramatma or Brahman. That is a shorter duration. Therefore, Bhagavan uses the word Nachirena. Just by being in Karma Yoga, one cannot attain Brahman. One has to go through this Jnana Yoga, Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. The person will have to have a guru. The person will have to do Shastra Shravanam, then the Mananam, then Nididhyasanam. Through that, this person attains Brahman shortly. That is why Bhagavan has said Nachirena. So that is the sixth shloka. Sixth shloka is about why, as in Karma Yoga, with Sannyasa cannot be attained without going through Karma Yoga. And once for a person who does proper Karma Yoga, he attains moksha or Brahman. Soon, before long. That is sloka number 6. Now we will go to sloka number 7. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyah sarvabhutatma bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyah sarvabhutatma bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate. So, previous sloka, Bhagavan said, a Karma Yogi will attain Brahman before long. Now, in this sloka, Bhagavan says, how and when does that happen? In Sanskrit, the questions are kada, katam, kadam. When and how a Karma Yogi attains Brahman? Or when does a sannyasi attain moksha? And Bhagavan gives a step-by-step sadhana from Karma Yoga until moksha here. So this sloka we can call it as a sampradaya shloka. Because Bhagavan starts on the first step, gives the step-by-step sadhanas in terms of attaining moksha. How to attain moksha. Now we'll take word by word, understand the sadhana, the stage in which Bhagavan has mentioned, and then we will see what will be the next step, where will the sadhaka go next. So the sadhanas, the stages are described here. Not exactly the sadhanas, but there is a stages that are here referred here. Now we will go to the sloka. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriya. Yoga yukta. Yoga yukta is basically Karma Yogi. We saw in the last sloka also. Yoga yukta is Karma Yogi. Yoga means Karma Yoga here. So Bhagavan starts with Karma Yoga. This is the first stage. You are Karma Yogi. Now, if we have understood Vedanta well, then we should know that we should know the step by step. We should know the stages by now. What we call as kramam. The order. We cannot say that I will do Jnana Yoga for some days, then I will do Karma Yoga for a few days, then some bhakti in between, and then I will be able to attain moksha. It's not like some of the universities, they allow, you take this paper and then you do the first year paper and then you do the second year, you will still be able to get the degree because you have completed all the papers. Vedanta is not like that. There are many sadhanas in Vedanta, but there are steps also. The krama is also very important. So here the first step given by Bhagavan is yoga yuktaha, a person in karma yoga. Now, who is a karma yogi? There have been many definitions that has been given for karma yoga. We have seen that from the second chapter onwards. If we summarize, we can give three definitions here. The first one is very common. We use this often. Samatvam. Samatva buddhi yogam. Being equanimous is one definition of karma yoga. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Being equanimous in whatever the results that we get, whether to our liking or not, having no likes or dislikes in our duties and performing our duties efficiently, effectively, properly. That is samatva. So that is one definition. Second one is we saw prasada buddhi yogam, taking the fruits of action to be Ishvara prasada. So there are certain kamya karmas that we do. There are certain actions that are driven by our desires, the outcome of which we do it with an outcome in mind, but not every time the outcome works to our liking. And there, at that point of time, or for every action that we do, taking the results to be Ishvara prasada is also karma yoga. That's the second one. Then the third one is phala nirveksha buddhi yoga. This is the third one, slightly higher standard. Here, the second step, I actually take the results and take them to the prasada. In this stage, within karma yoga itself, I am not interested in the fruits of action. I am in that sort of mental state. This is my duty, I am doing it. I am not doing it because I like that person, I want gratitude from that person, or I want somebody to praise me, or I want some monetary benefit out of it, or I expect something in return from it. No expectation, no interest in the fruits of action. Here, Shankara Bhagavad, he drops a bomb here. He says, this person will not even ask for moksha as a phala. He will just, I am doing it for the sake of moksha. Even that feeling is not there with him. He will just go about doing his duties diligently. Bhagavan has placed me here. These are my duties. I am going to do my duty with utmost shraddha. And with the trust that Ishvara knows what to give me. To that extent that he will not be interested in the fruits of action. So whatever comes, he doesn't even bother. He just moves on. He just continues to do this. But for us, remember, for Karma Yoga, if we say, I desire for Chitta Shuddhi, I am doing it for the sake of Chitta Shuddhi, it is perfectly fine. Oh, you say we are doing this for removing desires, but you are saying I desire Chitta Shuddhi. Because Chitta Shuddhi itself means removing desires only. So there is nothing wrong to have a desire to remove all desires. So that is fine. So having this feeling of I am doing this because I will get Chitta Shuddhi is perfectly fine for us. We also saw in the last sloka only another definition for Karma Yoga. We saw that to be dharmika jivanam. So we can say samatva buddhi, Ishvara prasada buddhi, and then dharmika jivanam. Shastras give so much importance to dharma. It's very clear that one cannot come to jnana by avoiding the root of dharma. Dharma, the path to jnana is dharma. If we take the adharma route, we will not be reaching. That's why we can say if we see some, I am actually doing all these classes, I'm also listening to so much of classes, I'm also very committed, but I am not able to see any benefit internally in my mind. I am not feeling calmness, I am not feeling happy, I am not seeing I'm moving ahead. Then we'll have to relook to see whether we are doing anything adharma there. What is adharma is very simple. Samanya dharma is very easy to understand. We don't need a book. Whatever we don't want others to do to us, we should not do to others. I don't want others to gossip about me, I should not gossip about them. I don't want others to criticize me, I should not criticize others. I don't want others to lie to me, I should not lie to them, others. I don't want others to cheat me, I should not cheat others. It's very simple. So whatever has been if you want to, this is one samanya dharma, then you have Vishesha dharma. What is Vishesha dharma? Whatever has been given in Vedas as our duties, performing them. So based on our varna, based on our āśrama, there are certain duties given. Those duties, performing them. We had already seen that in the 3rd chapter a little bit. Anyway, so that is dharma, that is karma yoga. Now, yoga yukta, the first step, karma yogi. What benefit does a karma yogi get? That is given in the next word by Bhagavan. So the benefit he gets is Vishuddhatma, pure minded. Here Atma means mind. Remember, that's why we should not go with the literal translation, we should not be reading. The Sampradaya will tell you what Atma means. Atma could sometimes mean body, Atma could sometimes mean mind, Atma could sometimes mean intellect, Atma could sometimes mean Jivatma, Atma could sometimes mean Paramatma, Atma could sometimes mean Brahman. So, depending on the context. So, Vishuddhatma here means mind. Vishuddhi means purity. Vishuddhatma means the one who has attained pure mind. So, the mind is affected with moham. Moham means what? Delusion. What is impurity? If the mind is with delusion. When the mind is pure, free from delusion, it is pure minded. Now, then what is moham? What is delusion? Delusion means having a confusion around or giving a value much more than what is required. If I give value to the words that are spoken against me by another person, and I'm actually giving too much value, that is delusion. If I am getting affected by somebody speaking bad about me, delusion. Because I am giving value on something that shouldn't be given. But here what we mean is, here having confusion on what is sadhana and what is sadhyam in life. As in, I should have a clarity on what should be the goal and what should be the path to attain that goal. If I do not have that, I am said to be in moham, I am said to be in delusion. If I say, oh, all these things are not, this karma yoga, this jnana, this moksha, these are not. Some people say, you need to be a good human being, that's all, that is enough for this life, that is enough. That is moham. Having clarity, when Shastras clearly say what you need to do, and you are still trying to twist it, that means we are in moha. And the biggest problem for us all the problems, rather, not the biggest problem. The root cause for all the problems in our life is basically we do not know what is the goal of life. We measure success by various metrics. And these metrics also keep changing. That is a different thing. Even for us at different stages of life, we have a different metric for measuring success. And that success is what we think as goal of life. We do not understand what is sadhyam, what is sadhana, what is the goal, what is the means. We sometimes mix the means to be the end. We always consider wealth, money, power, position to be the end game. Shastras clearly say that wealth, money is all means. They are all means. And then if we look at general opinion is having this position in the society, having wealth, having that money or power seems to be the end for many people. But we know in this class, we have been here for a few years now, we know clearly that wealth and money are the means, not the end. We too might forget, once we are out of this class, once we go out, we might forget. What we have to understand is, money is an instrument. For the world, money is the end. Some people do realize this, not coming through the Vedanta classes, but they realize it probably at the very end of their life. Probably in their deathbed, they would say that I have had so much of money, actually I had earned so much, but nothing is helping me here. I am not able to get the peace of mind, that calmness, that peace of mind, that contentment. And even after having built such an empire, having got so much wealth, having so much money, still I am not able to be happy. But when they come to at that stage, probably it's too late, because for them to do any sadhana, because for us to do any sadhana, the body is required, shariram is required. Sharira meaning body and mind. The body and mind should be cooperative, should be conducive for doing any sadhana. For doing any sadhana, whether it is for laukika or sastric, or for spiritual, material or spiritual, you need a good body, good mind. So if they realize something at their fag end of their life, they do not have the required body or the mind for them to be able to do the sadhanas. So we start early, it's better. And we have to understand sadhana to be a sadhana. For us to understand sadhana to be a sadhana and sadhyam, and have a clarity on sadhyam, we need to have purity of mind. If we do not understand that properly, we are said to be in moham, delusion. So the benefit of Karma Yoga is that we get that clarity. As we do Karma Yoga properly, we have more and more clarity on what is the goal of life, what is the means to achieve it. And we will also clearly know what is permanent, what is transient, what is nityam, what is anityam. So Bhagavan calls that benefit as Vishuddhatma. The goal is only moksha, all others are just sadhana. So the body, is the body a sadhana or sadhyam? For many people, body is a sadhyam, the end goal. How do I beautify the body? They give so much of importance to the body, beautification of the body. This is the food that I need to have. This is what I need to have for this. These are the exercises that being healthy is one thing, definitely. healthy is necessary. For that, having right food, the correct food is necessary. But then if you have this to remain beautiful, and remain is the problem. To remain beautiful is, if we give importance to that, that means we are not using the body properly. So Vishuddhatma means understanding the real goal of life. If we have to call it in the terms that we understand, we can say, instead of Vishuddhatma, we can say Viveka, Vairagya, Mumukshutvam. So the Yoga Yuktaha means a Karma Yogi. The Karma Yogi is the next step is that he would have attained Viveka, Vairagya, Mumukshutvam. Somebody says, I have not done Karma Yoga, but I have got clear understanding of what is Nityam and what is Anityam. Yes, again we'll say, you would have done Karma Yoga in your previous births. Only then you would have had this clarity. So what is next? Instead of giving next is, now Vijitatma, Bhagavan gives the benefit of the person that a person gets out of the next sadhana. Bhagavan gave the sadhana Yoga Yukta and Sadhyam Vishuddhatma. Now in the next step, the Bhagavan says, the sadhaka will attain Vijitatma. Here Vijitatma, Atma here means body, Deham, Shariram. Vijitatma means he becomes master of the body. He is not enslaved by the body. The body will be his instrument. More on this we will see in the next class, because I would want to take up the question that had been put up by Ashaji in the group. So I'll continue the Sloka in the next class. Ashaji had put a question: is Vairagya a necessary qualification to follow Karma Yoga, or is Karma Yoga a necessary qualification to achieve Vairagya, or should the two be practiced side by side? And Ashaji herself answers this. She says, Vairagya is detachment from selfish worldly desires. Following Karma Yoga helps us to obtain Vairagya. What is Karma Yoga? Doing your duties prescribed in the Shastras for your Varna without any desire for the fruits of your action. This implies that Vairagya is a necessary quality for Karma Yoga, because unless we detach ourselves from all selfish desires from the outcome of our actions, we will not be able to practice Karma Yoga. How do we reconcile this seeming conflict? This is the question. Now for us, let us understand little from where this confusion comes from. First of all, what is Vairagya? Vairagya does not mean no desire at all. That is not what Karma Yoga is asking us also for. Anyway, we'll come to Vairagya later. Now Karma Yoga. Yes, Karma Yoga, for somebody to start, it requires limited amount of Vairagya. What is that limited amount of Vairagya? First of all, when we start Karma Yoga, I may have likes and dislikes. Yes. I may have desires. Yes. But only thing here, what Karma Yoga asks you to do is, do not get these likes and dislikes. Do not get your desires to rule you. Do not get obsessed with the results. Recognize this, the worldly results are all unreliable. That understanding alone is needed. That limited understanding is good enough. That do not become a slave to your likes and dislikes. That limited amount of maturity. I have desires, I have likes and dislikes, but I don't want to get overruled by them. I am going to do what I am supposed to do, my duties, I will do them. I may not like them, but I will still do them, because these are my duties that are prescribed. That maturity is enough to start Karma Yoga. And of course, we also, within Karma Yoga, we also say that Ishvara Arpana, right? All actions I offer to Ishvara. And whatever results come, I take them as prasada. So which means what? I have an expectation of results. I do have my likes and dislikes. But I am willing to take whatever comes. I am not cribbing after that. I'm able to accept it. Acceptance is the key component, the key attitude for Karma Yoga. I want success, I want comfort, I want growth. That's not a problem. You can have them. But do not depend that everything that I do will result in only that. For nobody, nobody gets favorable results all the time. Nobody. So that is to do Karma Yoga. You start doing Karma Yoga with that limited amount of knowledge, on limited amount of Vairagya, very limited amount of Vairagya. Because Karma Yoga itself, the result of Karma Yoga is Vairagya. Now, what is Vairagya means? Vairagya means not having that craving. Seeking enjoyment or looking at all objects as a means of enjoyment is the opposite of Vairagya. Not looking at things as a means of enjoyment is Karma Yoga. Vairagya. So what happens? Suppose I enjoy the food. Enjoying the food, if I enjoy the food, it doesn't mean that I do not have Vairagya. It does not mean that I do not have Vairagya. If I enjoy the food, it's fine. Everybody enjoys food. But if I don't get the food that I want, I get irritated, then I don't have Vairagya. Or the craving is what differentiates between Vairagya and non-Vairagya. So as we do Karma Yoga, what happens is slowly the reactions reduce mentally. Our likes and dislikes, they lose control over us. And not because our likes and dislikes are suppressed. Remember, and it doesn't mean that life will become dull or anything. But our mind will get stability and clarity. We'll clearly know what is needed, what is not needed. So similarly, this will lead to Vairagya. Remember again, it will lead to Vairagya. What is Vairagya? Vairagya does not mean here is a person who will not enjoy any pleasure in life. Here is a person who will not do any activity in life. Here is a person who will not get involved in life at all. There will be that is not a Vairagya. Vairagya means whatever it comes, I am enjoying it. You enjoy it. But you don't crave for what is absent in life. A sannyasi, a lot of sannyasis, they take car, they live in air conditioned room. Does it mean that these people do not have Vairagya? No, it only means in this prarabdha they are given these things. But if they are put in a place where they do not have all these comforts, they would still be able to live there. They would not be cribbing for it. It's not that they wouldn't sweat. They will sweat, but they wouldn't be sorrowful. So that freedom is Vairagya. So limited Vairagya is needed to start Karma Yoga. But ultimately it is about freeing ourselves from our likes and dislikes. That is the end result that we want. And how we can do it? By not having likes and dislikes control our duties. We do our duty irrespective of whether we like or not. And whatever outcome comes, we take them as Ishvara Prasada. We do not crib, we do not get overly elated, we do not get depressed. Slowly the craving drops. Slowly we will get Vairagya. And remember, Vairagya does not mean that I do not enjoy. Vairagya means I do not depend. There is no dependence. That's all. So I hope that answers Ashaji's question. Any other questions or any other follow-ups that does anybody have? Okay, if not, we will see again in the next class. So we had seen only 2 words of the Sloka number 7. We will continue that in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.